So the next step is where they're going to be giving us like terms. And we need to go through and combine them or put them together where we have terms that are the same. Now terms can be where it's just a number. Terms can be where you have a number with a variable, okay? Now, as we get more advanced in 8th grade and then into high school, sometimes you're gonna get where you have more than one variable. So you might have a set of, or a problem, an equation that maybe has y's and x's, and you're gonna combine. It's kind of like a label. That term has a label. So when I look at this problem, this -7 is just a -7. There's no label on it, okay? This x is the same as saying a 1x. Okay, these two have the same label. Okay, they have that same variable sitting behind them. So when I go through to work this out, I need to simplify these together and put them together so that I'm not looking at so much on that left-hand side of the equal sign. So my -7 is still gonna stay there. There's nothing to combine it with right now. And we'll do some shifting in a minute with our 5. But right now I'm gonna keep this -7 there. Now, when I look at what I have in a box here, I have a positive 1x and a positive 2x. So 1x plus 2x, what's 1 plus 2? It's 3, right? So I have to remember that that's positive 3 with an x equals 5. So I finished writing out the rest of this. Okay, so they're adding a step. They're now putting that combining of like terms in here. Now, if you're somebody that does not like to look at the equation like this, you can shift it so that your 3x is sitting in the front. So if you like it that way, that's fine. Remember, keep the symbol with the number. So positive 3x, I can leave that positive number or positive symbol off. So 3x. The -7, the minus has to stick with the 7, or the negative has to stick with the 7. So -7, and then the equals 5 is going to stay as it is. So now you can work off of either of these equations. This one is just rewritten. Okay, so it depends on what you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and just work off of this front one just to show you that you don't have to rewrite it. So we're going to jump back to the steps that we did on the previous slide. We have to work to get rid of any non-variable first. So right now, here's my non-variable, my non-letter. Right now it's -7. I'm gonna have to do the opposite, add 7. Okay, plus 7. Okay, so now we're back to what we've been doing for the last couple days. We've got 3x left on this side equals 5 plus 7 is 12. Okay, so now we have to get x by itself. Well, 3 times x, so the opposite is divide. So divide by 3. X equals 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So x equals 4. Okay, if I'm going to substitute in to check myself, because some of you will do that, it is good practice, but I know that you can get frustrated with it also. If you're going to substitute in, remember that, whoops, my eraser didn't work there. Oh, by golly. Okay, just remember that when you substitute in, this 4 is going to go where x is. So it's a -7 plus 4 plus 2, and then it's times 4. Okay, it's not 24, it's times 4 equals 5. Okay, and then if you want to go through and check on your calculator, you can. Your calculators will do the orders of operation for you. Otherwise, if you're doing it longhand, remember, combine these first because we have to follow orders of operation. So I get 8 for this part. -7 plus 4 gives me -3 plus 8. A negative and a positive, they're different symbols. Find the difference. The difference would be 5. The larger number was positive. We still did get positive 5. Okay, so that's up to you. I personally like to work with a partner, work through my problem, and then compare answers to build my confidence to make sure that I'm getting confident in what I'm doing. Because I know sometimes when you're second guessing yourself, well, then to substitute in is kind of overwhelming, okay? So it's kind of nice to just kind of work with a partner when you're first learning. Okay, so looking at this equation, I will tell you right now, I don't like how it's set up. It doesn't bother some kids to see it set up that way. So I'm going to go ahead and actually simplify, but then I'm going to rewrite it. Because I like to see my variable on the the left-hand side of the equal sign. And some kids, it doesn't bother them, but I like to work left to right. So when I combine these, I am seeing like terms here. They are the same. Okay, they have an x. So it's a positive 2 or 2 plus 2. And yes, they each have an x, but we're just going to carry that label with it. I get 4x here. And then I still had minus 2 and then equals 30 over here. Now, I don't like to see it that way, so I'm going to rewrite it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and shift everything. I'm going to keep it in the same order, other than I'm going to flip-flop my on the opposite sides of my equal sign. So really, I'm just going to take and erase my equal sign and my 30 here and shift it to the back. Take note, I did not reorganize these two. Okay, they stayed in the same order. If I reorganize those two, I have to make sure that I keep my symbol that's in front of the number with that number. Okay, so now we're going to go back to what we did on our previous slide. We have to get rid of any non-variable. So right now it's minus 2 plus 2 plus 2. We have 4x left equals 30 plus 2 is 32. And some of you will be able to work ahead of me on these. I take it at a slow pace for those that are still trying to catch on so that they can watch each and every single step. And some of you might be working ahead of me because you're confident. You've already built the skill of solving this two-step equation. Right now it's 4 times x, so I'm going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. X equals 32 divided by 4 is 8. So I just found out that x is 8. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so here's the next one. We've got negative x plus 5 plus 4x equals 23. Our first step is to work with our x's. Now, I specifically picked this one, and here's why. That negative x, we have to remember, when there's not a number there, it's implied that there is a 1. Okay, you have to realize that there's really a 1 there. And so now when we combine those x's, we have to think negative 1 and a positive 4. Okay, now I don't like to think of it that way. If I have a positive and a negative, and my positive is a little larger, I just do 4 minus 1. So 4 minus 1 would give me, for these two, a 3x. Okay, then I still had this positive 5, so plus 5 equals 23. Okay, so there's that equation. So I want you to go ahead and pause your video, and you work your way through this problem. You should have ended up with, when you solved this problem, 6. Okay, I didn't go through all of the steps because I would like you to practice those steps. Obviously, we had done that on the previous slide also. So practice through those steps. If you didn't get 6, show me your work. I'll try and help you go through. If I'm not available, check with a partner. Okay, check with a classmate that you feel is confident in solving these two-step equations. Okay, so I'm going to slide one more out here for you guys to work on. And this one, you're going to go through and combine like terms on your own. So go ahead and pause your video again. And when you're ready to go through and check to see if you have it correct, then start the video up again. Okay, for this problem, you should have ended up with an answer of x equals negative 5. If you didn't get negative 5, double check to make sure that you got, that you combined your x's correctly. Okay, check with the partner, check with me. All right, So that's kind of the first part of lesson 2. When you are finished with the homework that goes with lesson 2, you're going to go ahead and start in on activity 2. Now that's a separate video. So it's actually activity, sorry, that should have said 1.2. It's actually activity 1.2. That's a separate video that you have to pull up on the website.